Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from group 3 will present about housing. Let me introduce myself. My name is Haidar di Ulhaq and my friend.
Salsa Rahmiawati Fadila. Housing. Almost everybody in Britain dreams of living in a directed house. That is, a house which is a separate building. The saying, an Englishman's home is his castle, is well known. It illustrates the desire for privacy and the importance attack to ownership, which seem to be at the heart of the British attitude to housing.
Houses, not flats. A large detached house is not only ensures privacy. At extreme end of the scale, there is the aristocratic stately home set in a crest of garden. Flats they feel provide the least amount of privacy, with a few exceptions, mostly in certain locations in central London. Flats are the cheapest kind of home. In the 1950s, millions of poor people live in cold, old, uncomfortable 19th century houses, often with only an outside toilet and no bathroom. During the next 20 years, many of them were given smart new high-rise blocks of flats to live in, which, with central heating and bathrooms, were much more comfortable and were surrounded by grassy open space. But people hated their new homes. They said they felt cut off from the world, all those floors up. So this is the example for house and
Private property and public property. The image of a home as a castle implies a clear demarcation between private property and the public domain. The castle puts limits on the domain of its owner as well as keeping out others. This way, they can have a front garden of yard as a kind of buffer zone between them and the world. They announce to the world actuality where the private property begins.
the importance of a home. Despite of preference they tend to feel for home, British people have little deep-rooted attachment to their house as an object, or to the land on which it stands. It is the abstract idea of home which is important, not the building. This will be sold when the time and price is right, and its occupiers will move into some other's house, which they will then turn into home. A home which they will love just as much as they did the previous one. To most British people, such immobility is a terrible misfortune.
Individuality and
Conformity.
individuality and conformity. The opportunity which is afforded for individual self-experience is another advantage of the front garden. However, not everything about housing in Britain displays individuality because most houses are built by organization, not individualists. They are not usually boiled one at a time. Instead, wall stress, even neighborhood, or often called estates, are boiled at the same times. sometimes. For reason of economy, all the houses on an estate are usually built to the same design, viewed for the air exchange strat in British towns often seem to be full of houses that are identical. This just one of the houses, but by looking around it, people can get a fairly correct infer, impression of any house in the estate. But if later you walk down the same street that you saw from the air, every single house would seem different in an attempt to achieve extra individuality. Some people even give their house a name or although other reject this as pretentious.
So this is example houses in an estate. Next, interior, the importance of coziness. British houses have a reputation for being the coldest in Europe. Too many tradition is part of coziness, and this can be suggested by being surrounded by old items of furniture. And if you cannot have furniture which is old, you can always have other things that suggest age. It allows the front room to be kept for comparatively formal visits, while family members are close and close friends can spend their time safely hidden from public view in the back room. In the back room, even if both can be reached from the street, the back door is for family and close friend only.
Owning and renting. The text discuss housing trends in Britain, high season, the cultural preference to homer, home ownership despite high prices. Mortgages are common, with about uh, 70% of homes owned with mortgage. Historically, working class individuals rented, but the construction of council corporate subsidized rentals folios in the 1980s, like tax relief and selling council houses, boosted home ownership. However, by the mid 1990s, the trend slowed to fewer council house for cases and policy change. Scandals like Home for Vote critiques the sale of council house. Overall, the text illustrates the shift from renting to home ownership in Britain, influenced by government policies and economic factors.
Next is homeless. Homeless in Britain, attributing it to various factors such as limited council housing, poor accommodation quality, and reduced availability of private rentals due to tenant protection laws. Economic downturns in the 1990s resulted in many homeowners facing homelessness due to mortgage difficulty. Homeless families are temporarily housed in boarding houses or host- hostels. While some individuals live raw on the street, dep- dep- despite efforts by charities, the government doesn't prioritize solving homelessness, partly due to low public awareness. Additionally, groups like travelers face persecution for their nomadic lifestyle, highlighting broader societal issues surrounding housing and lifestyle. So that's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.